It's possible to make fillable PDFs using Word and Acrobat, but anytime you need to make a change to the original document, you have to create all of your fields over again. Forms made with InDesign still need to be finalized in Acrobat for accessibility, but overall it's much more efficient. Let's practice adding some simple text fields using the built-in styles of our template. I've added field labels for name, phone number, email address, street address, city, and your signature, each on their own line in the basic paragraph format. Since these don't each need to be the full width of the page, we need our text frame to be formatted for a multi-column layout. With the Selection tool, click on the primary text frame to select it, then open the Object Styles window. I have it docked in one of my side panels. If you don't, you can find it in the window menu under Styles. Apply the 6-call style to the text frame. These vertical lines that appear in the frame are showing the margins of each column and will not be visible in the final export. All of the styles that are currently in use are set to span all columns, so nothing has changed yet. Enter the frame by double-clicking or using the text tool, and put your cursor on one of the text field labels. Open the Paragraph Styles window and expand the Forms group. For these fields, I want to use the label below Styles, so I'll expand that subgroup. This group contains a style for paragraphs with inline fields, and then individual fields that are 1 to 6 columns wide. For my name, phone number, and email address fields, I'm going to use the 2-column wide style. Because each only take up 2 columns, they rearrange to sit next to each other on one line. Now I'll use the 4-column field for street address, the 2-column field for city, and the 3-column field for signature. Suddenly, my fields aren't arranged how I want them to be. Since I want my first 3 fields to stay together, I'm going to add a blank line after email address and set it to the group break style. I'll do the same after city. If you're familiar with the concept from web design, this group break style is set up to be very similar to the clear fix class. You should never include text on a line that's been styled with group break, as it's set to be imperceptibly small. It's just there to help organize your columns. This way the fields read in the order I want them to, and are visually arranged well. Now that we have our labels prepared, we need to create the actual fields. Select the Rectangle tool and draw a box anywhere. Switch to the Selection tool to adjust the size and move it around. In the Properties window, double-click on the fill box to give the box a fill color. That will make it easier to select while you're working. Open the Buttons and Forms window. If you don't already have it docked, it's in the Window menu under Interactive. With your rectangle selected, expand the Type field and pick Text field. Give your field a name, which is a back-end label that will not be read by Access Technologies, and a description, which will be the tooltip when exported to Acrobat. For my first field, I'm going to put name in both. You'll see that some people recommend wordier descriptions, such as enter your name here, but it usually isn't necessary for the description to be any more verbose than the label. Always consider the user experience, and if explaining how to fill out a form on each field would be helpful or irritating as the end user. By default, the font is set to Minion Pro, but I prefer Verdana for all of my text fields, so I'm going to adjust this. I need a total of 6 fields, so I'm going to duplicate this one by holding Alt and clicking and dragging, so that I don't have to manually adjust all of these settings on each one. Now I just need to change the name and description on each field. For my signature frame, I'll switch the type selection to Signature field. Now we need to anchor the field to its related text. When you have one of the fields selected, this blue square should appear on the upper edge. This is the anchor point. Click and drag from there to the label text. I prefer to anchor the field to the end of the label so that the label reads first. The blue box should now have an anchor icon. If it doesn't, You missed? Try again. Now open the Object Styles window again and expand the Forms folder. Select the text field style, and your field should jump into place. If it doesn't, it probably wasn't anchored. Adjust the width so it matches the line. Since I know that most of my other fields should be the same width, I'll copy this width value. Select multiple frames at once by holding down Shift, and then paste the width value to adjust all of them at once. Now I'll only need to manually resize the wider fields. Now I have a set of fully accessible fields ready for export. There are two other types of text field available in this template. But this video is long enough. Take a break.